everyone. So my name is Matt Parsons. I was born with Erbs Palsy in my left arm, and if you're watching this, I guess you've got that too, or maybe someone in your family's got Erbs Palsy or Brachial Plexus Injury. So I was a pretty big baby. I was nearly 11 pounds when I was born, and basically I got stuck coming into the world. And yeah, so my left arm was sort of pulled, and that left me with Erbs Palsy. Now, I just want you to know that you can do whatever you want to do. Okay, so like, you can, when you put your mind to it, do all of the things that other people can do. Now, I had a real passion for cricket when I was growing up. My dad used to play, and I was sort of brought up playing cricket, and I was told by the doctors that I would never play any sport and never be able to catch a ball. Now, I ended up representing my county when I was 13 all the way up to when I was 18, 19 years old. Now, that is successful, and a lot of people want to be successful, and they kind of compare themselves to other people that are successful. Now, I'm not a professional cricketer. I don't make a living out of it, but I played county cricket as a kid when the doctor said that I would never ever be able to do that. Now, I consider that being successful. Okay, they also said I'd never play a musical instrument. Now, I'm not a rock star, but I've released albums, and I can play the drums, and I play the guitar, and I've been doing gigs for years. Again, that's successful. It depends on how you want to label successful, and it also depends on, you're not the same as other people. You are you, and you could set the bar as high as you want to go. Okay, now, I guess if I pushed a bit more with music, if I pushed a bit more with cricket, maybe I would have gone a little bit further. But for me, I consider myself being successful in those areas. So don't let other people telling you that you can't do something stop you. You can do it. You just need to put in the time and the effort. You may have to do things slightly differently to other people, but that's okay. That's unique to you. And that's what makes you so special, and makes you unique and different, okay? I know a lot of people are quite self-conscious that have got Erbs Palsy, myself included. I still get a bit self-conscious about it. It's interesting when you go into the gym. Now, I'm not natural in the gym at all. I always feel a little bit uncomfortable, like people are looking at me, and that's okay. Like, one thing I've started to do recently is to actually talk to people about it, because if I'm feeling nervous about it, actually sometimes facing that fear is the best thing to do. So actually ask for advice. I say, hey, I can't do this because I've got this injury. Could you maybe suggest something that I could do instead, or a way of going around it? So actually I kind of face the fear face on, and I just made it aware to people that I had this problem, and actually that sort of built my confidence. And actually, one thing that's happened that's been really good is that people have been showing me new ways of doing things, and things that I never thought I would, I wouldn't have never thought to do. So, so that's a really, really positive thing. And then actually, you're working really, really hard. You're probably working harder than most people, because you're like pushing really, really hard with your Erbs Palsy arm, just on the lightest weight possible. And people in there, maybe in the gym, maybe sort of going really hard with two really strong arms, but you're using the lightest weight and you're pushing as hard as they are. So it's absolutely fine. You've got to do your thing. You've got to do your thing, and you've got to just give it 100%. Because if you don't give it 100%, what's the point? What's the point of doing anything if you don't give it all of your effort and your time? Time is obviously an issue with a lot of these things, because we live busy lives. I've got a really, really busy lifestyle, and I try and balance all the different things. And sometimes when I get into the gym, I'm very conscious of the time, and I kind of think, I've only got half an hour, I've only got 45 minutes. Sometimes I don't get to the gym because of other commitments. And one thing you can be doing if you don't have time to get to the gym is you can be doing other exercises. You can actually be sat at your desk at work or at school or wherever you are, and you can be doing some of these sort of exercises to start loosening up your wrists and your fingers and things like that. No one needs to know that you're doing them. Okay, So I sometimes do that when I'm teaching, or when the kids, you know, are getting on with their work. I might just sort of sit there and just sort of turn my wrist over, you know, or something like that, and just keep doing this. And you know, I can do that under the table. You know, I can just do it like this. You know, I'm doing it right now, and you can't even really tell that I'm doing it. And you know, I'm sort of stretching my fingers out here, and you can't even tell. You know, I'm just sort of stretching these fingers out, and doing this sort of stuff all day long, every day, is going to help. But we don't do it. Well, I don't do it. You know, I went through a massive phase. I'm 34 years old now, and you know, I've kind of not done it in the past, and I think I've been a little bit afraid to do it, afraid to take responsibility, which is kind of ridiculous. It's not that I was pointing the finger at anybody, but it was just that maybe I was hiding from it. And actually now, you know, it's time to do something about it, and it's time to commit. So if you're in the same position, I'd love to hear from you and see what you guys do as well, because there's plenty of us out there that have got the same problem. It all varies a little bit in how much movement we have and things like that. So you know, I'd love to hear from you. So it's just, you know, subscribe and leave some comments and get in touch, and maybe we can share some videos or something like that. I'll speak to you soon.